Hey everybody, welcome back to Inside Gaming on this lovely Sunday. I know the world is pretty crazy right now, so I figured instead of delivering the news in a chaotic fashion, like this channel's become known for, I figured it'd be nice to take a retrospective and a wholesome trip back in time and look at some of the best gaming memories that most of us share. A simpler time when you could just hop on over to a .com and go from trying to park a car to undressing a celebrity in a matter of minutes. That's right, we're talking about everyone's favorite long-forgotten source of entertainment, Flash games. The beacon of light after a long day at school or a late night when your parents are asleep and you wanted to slice a couch in half with the dude who was sitting on it. You had a plethora of games and animations at your fingertips. The best part was they were free, 100% free. You didn't have to pay anything. They weren't locked behind a paywall. You could just go on over to the website and just play whatever the hell you want. It was awesome. Like, why would I spend my mom's hard-earned money on Red Faction 2 when I could just hop on over to Newgrounds and play Find the Spam for the 30th time? Yep, okay. Yeah, there it is. I'm a gamer. Those are some great memories, and with Flash shutting down at the end of this year, yeah, you might not get a chance to revisit them. Although there are preservation projects and proprietary players in the equation that will save us from losing our digital childhoods, but we'll get to that later. First off, I just want to say that Flash games were important to not only modern day creators, but our culture as a whole. The rise in popularity of shows like South Park in the early 2000s, kids my age were all about poo-poo funny haha jokes that would make us laugh. A website like Newgrounds.com had a ton of that. I mean, there was some dark on Newgrounds too, like the game where you beat the hell out of this dude's dad.
Yes, I hate my dad. He's a moron who sits around the house all day every day while my mom works 2 jobs to support everyone. I'd kill him myself, but doing it like this saves me a trip to jail.
Times have changed. Listen, I could go on about Newgrounds all day because, I mean, that's where a majority of creators that we know and love today got their start. Some have even traversed into the mainstream with games like Snipper Clips, which was created by Adam and Tom Vion, formerly known as the Super Flash Bros. I mention them because games like Snipper Clips and Alien Hominid and Super Meat Boy serve as a landmark of what Flash games have brought us. Think of it this way, when your average Joe is given the ability to create something from their living room PC or their laptop in their bedroom, this opened the door for endless possibilities for basically anyone with more patience than myself. Flash games served as a foundation of most indie games we know today. Because if it weren't for Flash games paving the way, making a game would seem like a pipe dream to someone with no income and only a basic knowledge of how to make something that people would enjoy. Aside from games, there was also the very popular and very eerie Salad Fingers series, which came to be on Newgrounds.
Hello. I like rusty spoons. I like to touch them. The feeling of rust against my salad fingers is almost orgasmic.
Whenever I've struck up a conversation with someone about the old days of Flash, Salad Fingers is usually the first thing that gets brought up because it's infected all of our hippocampuses like a dirty uncle. It's a terrible joke, I'm sorry. There's also some of my personal favorite creators like OniNG and Psychic Pebbles who have since made a switch to a little startup site called YouTube.com. You might have heard of it, but they have flourished as creators. Side note, OniNG is actually currently working on a game called Bulbo: The Quest for Bing Bing. You should go check out the trailer. It looks pretty cool. But enough about Newgrounds. All right, let's take a look at some of the other Flash gems, because there was a lot of them. Wait, did I mention that dress-up games on Newgrounds made me into a man? Well, it's not important or appropriate, so we'll move on. AddictingGames.com. That was one of the other sites I grew up on. This was Flash games in its purest form. You didn't run the risk of having one of your family members hop on a game with you just to see an ad for Hentai Keepy Uppy on the sidebar. This was Flash fun for the whole family, even Abuela. Even your suegros can get down with some Flash games without being bombarded with anime titty. One of the games I spent the most time with was Spank the Monkey. Yes, that is a game and not an allegory for choking the chicken. See, that actually does mean jacking. What blew my mind the most about this stupid game was the way the hand tracked with your mouse movements, like as if there was actual physics behind it. Keep in mind, this is a Flash game from 2004 where it didn't take much to blow my feeble little mind. The reason why this game stands out is because it's simple in concept, but great enough to share with friends and family. Again, this feeds into the idea that even with amateur creativity, you can make a stupid game like that can keep someone entertained for hours on a Saturday morning. There were also websites like CartoonNetwork.com, which housed some of the greatest Flash games based off our favorite childhood cartoons. One of my personal favorites was Cartoon Summer Resort. I tried to use the Wayback Machine to get it to work, but had no luck. It was very upsetting, very depressing, just seeing the thumbnail for it and knowing you can't access it. It's because they run off, I think it's Shockwave Player, which doesn't exist anymore, I guess. Other well-known companies had their hand in Flash animations and games as well, like Nabisco and Coca-Cola. These were obviously used as a means to advertise, but keep you entertained at the same time, but at least they were nice enough to, warn you with a message, letting you know that that's what they were doing. Hi kids, when you see ad break, it means you are viewing a commercial message designed to sell you something. Remember, if you are under 18 years old, you should get your parents' permission before you submit any information about yourself or try to buy anything online. Thanks, corporate entity. There were also gems that ran through the browser, like Neopets. Unfortunately, those of you that have cared and loved your Neopets since '99, you might want to give them a tender kiss on the forehead because they don't have much time left. Yeah, they're dying.
Lightning strikes above our heads, yet feeling safety in this space. Sounds of laughter take me far away. I love it here, don't wanna leave this place.
Jesus, that's depressing. Is there any hope for Neopets? Well, maybe. Actually, yeah. It looks like they're currently working on converting as much as they can to a more proprietary method. Of course, there are maps to be lost, but I'm sure you Neo heads can give them up to save your sweet, sweet Neopets. Is that what they call them, Neo heads? There's also games like RuneScape, which has seen a lot of changes over the years, most notably its switch over to the Jagex RuneScape client, and even a switch to mobile by popular demand, which I did play for a bit and could not get behind the touchscreen. Just didn't feel right. Didn't have the same tactile responses, mouse and keyboard. And then there's my personal favorite, Habbo Hotel. What will become of those mother babas? Baba is basically like when you say they replace it on a little text. That's a joke for you Habbo heads. Luckily, Habbo isn't dead yet either. They're taking the proper steps to ensure its active user base are able to enjoy the game for years to come, and they're actually working on building their own launcher through Unity. You gotta love these companies, putting procedures in place to make sure our digital homies don't die a wrongful death. There are also websites like Congregate, which is a little bit newer on the scene. Created in 2006, it served as both a Flash games website, but also a publisher and developer of mobile and PC games. They were actually owned by GameStop for a bit, if you can believe it. This is when Flash games started to take a turn for the worse. A steady decline was happening for a while, but a fatal crash was imminent. Fast forward to the year 2010, the rise in mobile gaming was becoming evident. Everyone had a goddamn iPhone in their pocket, and Steve Jobs understood that to keep people consuming Apple content, he would have to declare a war on Flash. And so a war on Flash is what will happen.
Jerry, I quit my job just to be here, and I want my bees.
Apple ended up banning Flash from running on iOS, and this pushed developers who found their love for creation on Flash to change ecosystems in order to keep up with the modern day trends. In 2011, Apple would no longer support development for new Flash games on their platforms, which was a nail in the coffin for the devs who put a lot of time into small lunch break games. The problem with this, of course, is mobile games are essentially diet Flash games. I mean, when you think about it, it's bite-sized gaming for someone with limited time. It's upsetting to see that it wasn't treated as such. As free mobile games grew, the need for Flash became less and less apparent, since any average Joe could just hop onto their app store and download Flappy Bird or Temple Run. But of course, they didn't have dress-up games, so I never cared for mobile games. Flash isn't dying just yet. We have until December of this year, and as I mentioned earlier, there are certain preservation projects in place that will save our childhoods from becoming just another lost media. For example, a dev team by the name of Blue Maxima has been working on an ongoing project called Flashpoint, and with this nearly 300 gigabyte download size, you can hold on to your dear memories in your hard drive. I actually downloaded it last night, and I've been having fun with it. There's a lot of hentai, a lot of hentai games.
Finally, all my hentai needs in one place.
Right, that's definitely something I want in my hard drive. Now, they are still working on collecting Flash games from all over the web, new and old, so you can rest assured that Interactive Buddy will be okay. There's currently almost 40,000 Flash games on there right now, and as well as a load of animations from the early 2000s. Seriously, you guys are amazing. Thank you. Some websites have even taken it upon themselves to create their own Flash players, like everyone's favorite Newgrounds. That's right, if you're worried about no longer being able to beat up this dude's dad, fret not, because you can download the Newgrounds player and you'll be able to enjoy the nonsense for years to come. Off topic, but kinda on topic, Newgrounds has been independent since 1995. They've always retained the everything by everyone motto, so you can support them from the homepage. Just a thought. Other Flash sites have even begun moving their games from Flash to something called HTML5. Now, this won't solve all the problems though, considering it won't run on all browsers. The beauty of Flash games was that it was an experience that we could all share just by simply sending a link to someone via email or inviting some friends over to slap the monkey. Oh God. I, for one, am extremely happy to see these preservation projects at work. Even with modern day gaming, we've seen the slow switch to digital, slowly making tangible games obsolete to a minimalistic gamer. Now, it goes without saying that all forms of creative expression should be considered art, whether it's a Flash game or a stupid animation about the baby son from Teletubbies going supernova, or George Bush farting while doing aerobics, or even beating up this dude's dad. We should all work on preserving the past for the sake of our future. Okay, maybe it's not that serious, but like aliens could show up one day and they might think this stuff is cool. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Jerry, I quit my job just to be here, and I want my bees.
PS1 era Tomb Raider, complete with scan lines and polygonal breasts. And yes, I had to pull off this weird maneuver just to capture it for you guys, so thank me later. Or don't. Actually, let's never mention this again. There's even a nice little recreation of Bob's Neighborhood from Bob's Burgers. A simple collect the tokens sandbox, but the resemblance to the source material is uncanny. Like,